Alright everyone, welcome back. So in today's episode we'll be taking a look at Freetrade, and specifically they have their 8th round funding, but this round 8 is different from the previous. So in the past they would normally crowdfund using the Crowdcube app, and equally in the past you would have ownership of part of the company, and so you would fund however amount you're interested in and then you would receive shares in the company. That is different in round 8, and so we'll be going over the fine details on what is exactly happening. So definitely stick around to the end because this is going to be an important episode. And so on the 14th of September, Freetrade is opening up the ability to invest into the company. For those that have invested in the past, you would have been provided with an email, and no doubt they'll be supplying a link for early investors. To date, we can see there's around 17,000 people that have invested using the Crowdcube platform, and year on year we've seen increases in the amount of share price. Now the 8th round is different from the previous. We can see that back in May of 2022, institutional investors such as Molten Ventures, they're also heavily funded in Crowdcube. We've got Left Lane Capital and also L. Catterson. They all participated in the round. And to understand what a convertible loan note is that it's a form of debt finance. And so different convertible loan notes have different contingency plans. In some cases, the company will not be providing any shares. The benefit for investors out there, such as myself and you, is that you can generally get a discounted rate. One of the downsides is that when it comes to any tax write-offs, so if a company goes under, the money that you provide when you're using the likes of the Crowdcube platform, that's not generally possible when issuing a convertible loan note. And so when you invest in the current round, you can see that you won't be receiving those shares immediately. What they've stated is that your investment will convert at a later date, and they have actually specified within 12 months. And then you'll receive preferred shares in the Freetrade. What it also means is that when the funding goes live, the actual valuation won't be disclosed. In the previous round, for instance, I put in £989 to be converted into equity, and during that round I held 107 shares, and so the price per share at that point was £9.24. It was extremely high. There's actually some people that were unhappy because the actual list price was around the £7 mark, and so there was a fee involved that wasn't really disclosed during the 7th round, but that is something to consider if you're interested in investing in the current round. And so how that will work is if you want to put in 100, 500, £1,000, any kind of number, the amount of shares that you receive is going to be determined at a later date. Just looking more into this convertible loan note, we can see that on Crowdcube's definition, we can see that the underlying company, in our case Freetrade, will not be setting a valuation or share price, but they can invest in multiples of 100. And so once the funding is complete, and of course any additional conditions, we know with Freetrade it's within a year that our investment will be converted. We can see that's listed as well, so there is an agreed long-stop date or an agreed long-stop valuation, in our case within the 12 months. Crowdcube actually specifies that for certain types of convertible investments you are eligible for EIS. This is the enterprise investment scheme which offers tax relief, and so should the company go under, you can receive a certain amount of money back there when filling out your tax returns. Now the suspicion here is that up until this point Freetrade has been increasing their value and the actual price that you pay has been increasing. We've seen the initial shares for those early investors out there which were in the pennies or even less than a penny, all the way up to the previous round where price per share was over £9. Now what we can probably expect is that the actual price per share will be less than the £9. There's some theories out here that it's going to be as low as under the £4 mark. This is just hypothetical. We don't know until the conversion is made. For me personally, I've invested in 5 rounds so far, but in hindsight, the previous round, the price per share was extremely high, and so this next round should be less as a result. And so on September the 14th, in terms of my actions, I definitely plan on investing. This type of investing is extremely risky. There's a lot of startup companies that I have invested in the past, small amounts, but some are now defunct. Freetrade is one of the few investments out there that is still ongoing. But in terms of the crowdfunding space, this is the one company that I have decided to continually back. And so let me know in the comments below, will you be investing in the next round for Freetrade, or will you give this one a miss? Now, as always, new videos are posted each week. Thank you everyone for the support out there. Hitting that subscribe button really helps out the channel. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.